for some reason, I can't get it to come up as a full screen. I don't know, but y'all get the point. It's right here. So this guy's going to talk, and we're going to see what he's talking about, all right?
Black kids. Instead, teach your black children to be obedient towards authority.
Okay.
And I don't care if most of y'all are black. You need to teach your children to obey authority. We need to teach our sons and daughters to obey authority. We need to teach our children to not fight against authority, not fight against cops, not rebel. Be model citizens. Stop being rebellious towards authority.
It's going too far.
Be submitted to laws and ordinances. Stop parking in handicapped spaces unless you want a reason to park there.
That was personal.
That sounds like a personal grievance.
Yeah. He said unless you want a reason to park there, like he's going to beat you up if you park in handicapped.
Of course, it's
parking.
Atlanta.
Sounds violent.
He seems mad. Like I went to the rigmarole to get my own handicap plaque, and I earned this spot.
Right.
I'm guilty of it, but it's only when I'm driving my parents around because they got them. So I'll park in that joint.
I agree. I agree with the whole.
I don't like how he's saying.
Don't put on your end suit when the police come around. You know what I'm saying? Like, best bet, probably just be quiet, lawyer up. I get that part, but he's also giving Uncle Ruckus vibes, yo.
He's giving Sam Jackson and Django vibes, yo.
The chat,
It's a personal
so
discrepancy. Somebody in his family is locked up.
Yeah, the chat so far seems to think, he's right to a point because he does have a point. But there is a
He's
certain
not wrong.
point.
I don't like the way he's saying
It's
it.
just the
I don't
way
When
like the way
Master
he's
come
saying it.
around here,
You better tighten up.
Well,
you go stuffing your chest out, boy.
When
for
he
me,
leave,
what
I'll be talking again.
Right.
Ooh,
what I didn't
it's
like
that
about
nigga
it-
on that nag.
Right.
come
Go
on,
ahead, though.
bring it in.
Sorry.
So for me, what I didn't like about it was, and I will say this, he came out and he did apologize. He because he got a lot of backlash. For one,
Good.
he's addressing the Black community. I felt the way because, sir, you're a pastor. There is no Black church. There is no white church. There's one church, and that's the Church of Jesus Christ. You're a follower of Christ.
Right.
So I felt a way about him, specifically targeting the Black community. Number two, it's more white people that die from the police, but you're still addressing the Black community. Number
more
three,
white people.
it is.
It's
It is.
numbers.
And
Right.
yes, it is. But I'm just saying, like, you're directing the Black community as if white people are the ones listening to the police and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just address Americans. Why are you? Yeah, just address the community. Why are you? You're specifically talking to Black people. I kind of felt a little bit of way about that. And this is my thing. Okay, you're kind of, the way you're talking, you're putting it on the person that is being arrested, or the Black person. Well, we saw Philando Castile. He was complying and he still died. You know what I'm saying? Like, there were Black Americans that were not Black Americans, just Black people in general that did die. And they were complying. So
old boy was complying with the knee on his neck. He complied to death.
Yeah, so it's a lot. So I just felt, and I will say he did come out and apologize, and I think that was the right thing to do. But for me, it was giving Uncle.
He got backlash. If nobody had backlash, he wouldn't have apologized.
Can I play devil's advocate?
I think you're right, Purge.
Can I play devil's advocate though, Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
Are we not supposed to? Because I like what you said. I ain't even going front, but are we not supposed to mentor our young Black children?
Well, we are.
I think we should. We should. Yeah.
Because, and I only asked you that because you said it's the Church of Jesus Christ. So by him using the term Black, he's saying, okay, I'm speaking to Black people. And the reason why I say that is because you are correct. The white folks do be the ones puffing up with the police officers.
I've seen that more.
I have seen it more. I have.
I
have my rights, God damn it.
That's what I'm saying.
We've all seen the set. Like,
usually we are the ones complying because we know
I didn't know I couldn't.
where to go.
Now, I think that might be a perspective issue. I am always compliant because whenever the police come up to my car, I put the window down and I give them my damn ID and I say, "You got me, motherfucker," and they normally start laughing.
Right.
But I grew up around people that have never been compliant, where I'm in the passenger seat or I'm in the driver's seat saying, "Shut the fuck up and let me handle this, please. Please be quiet, good sir."
This could be a good night or a bad night.
Or a bad night. Just at ease, nigga. Like, so from my perspective, while I respect yours, from my perspective, my brothers and sisters don't normally be compliant. I am not speaking for all of my brothers and sisters.
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
But I do instruct my children because I feel, and I know this is gonna come across, but I feel anxiety when them red and blue lights go off. And I tell my children,
show up. Hell yeah.
My dad does too.
I tell my children, I say, yo, when them people come up to that car, don't over answer. Be polite. Maintain your bearing. Give them what they're asking for. Keep your hands on the wheel. And because it could be
add on to your point,
going home or not.
Well, Sonny, what percentage would you think of people that are pulled over by the police that are Black people, or look back, whatever you want to call it, what percentage would you think do comply? I would say 90.
It could be because social media is definitely 3%. But if I were to give you a percentage based off of my perspective and what I've seen in my life, like as far as firsthand situations, it'd be like me and Bravo, Hayes. Like I don't know too many. Our friends, like I got one of my best friends from Newark, New Jersey. He ain't calm. Okay. He always got us like they trying to escalate it on both sides. It's always a snide.
Let me add this real quick. So Kelly, you are right. It is more white people by the numbers that are usually acting up and getting pulled over or murdered by cops. That is a bigger number for them. But it is a larger number for our community proportionately. You know what I mean? The number of Black people that are getting sent up. Per capita up, like all Black people. Yeah. So, and we already know the numbers are there, that the exaggerated sentences are more likely to land upon people of melanated complexion, right?
Facts, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get what he's saying, but he gave off a real house nigga vibe with it. And I did not like
Bravo, we on the same page. We on the same page. I agree. I agree.
So the question would be, how would he tweak this message so that instead of apologizing for the message, he's able to say it without getting all that backlash? Like,
he wouldn't.
Just don't say Black. Just don't say the word Black.
Their job is to be controversial. If it's not a controversial topic, they wouldn't really have an audience. I grew up in PG County. My mega church was ran by 2 white people, and it was an all Black congregation, and we were constantly talking about Black issues because that was the market. So at the end of the day, the church is a business, and they have a clientele, to appease to. It's that same way he ended up on Instagram, and now he's viral. And I'm sure the people that agree with him are now going to that church. So there's an underlying issue here, which is really nothing to do with this entire conversation. But what I do have to say, I do agree with Sonny that from what I've experienced personally, a lot of my friends are not compliant. Now, I have something that's called pretty privilege. If I'm with a male friend and he happens to get pulled over, I end up being the one talking because he don't know how to speak or he don't know how to submit to authority. In Christianity,
let me handle
in general,
this.
we always talk about, submission, and that's like a main theme in like believing in God is submission in general. So I think he might have actually been just trying to come up with something that nowadays in 2025 we deal with on a constant basis and relate it to dealing with authority, because people don't even respect the authority in the church. So it sounded like a personal problem to me.
I like
Look, I'm with y'all.
That speaks to a bigger issue.
What he said, though, because I didn't really, honestly, in my opinion,
do we need to hear more shucking and jiving?
I don't know if we really need to hear more.
Hold it though. And when Pastor start talking, make sure you don't make eye.
Don't look him directly in the
might
eye.
have some white cops that are friends though. Like he might just be talking to talk.
But
he definitely has white cops that are friends. He runs a mega church.
They probably the main donations.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, stop fucking with them police.
So
the only nation I support is donation.
So let's be honest though. There is a need for additional education when it comes to police interaction for those people that we're talking about that don't know how to act when the police pull up. And there are
you just said it. You just said it just now. You said people that don't know how to act. Like there is a way to act. I think that there is, and I look at it like this: how would if? And I'm not saying the police are my parents, but I do understand authority when it comes to my parents. So when my mom comes up and she says, like why did you do this? Something like that. I'm not trying to punk my mom like
but the police aren't your mother either.
No, so but the nigga got a gun. So okay, so let's say if the police didn't show up and the motherfucker got a gun on you, like, are you disrespecting the nigga with the gun?
No, but I'm just saying you made the initial reference of your mother, which is totally different. My mom ain't gotta have a gun and I'm gonna be in submission.
Exactly, but I use my mom as an example of just the term authority, and we could take it.
That's
back
also
to
what he said.
We could take it back to what Genesis was talking about, because God gave us judges, meaning judicial, like that, and there's a whole book of Judges that explains that.
Right.
There is a legal system. God put that in place for a reason. Now, I'm not saying that these people aren't crooked, but there is a reason why you have judges, so that if you need the help, you can get a lawyer and actually fight your case in front of judges. The police are just the guys to get you there. But if you just shut the fuck up, be respectful, you might let them play themselves because they always overtalk anyway.
True.
Right. And it's not an automatic switch, because I got pulled over because I was way over the speed limit. But I got pulled over. You know what I mean? And I had all my shit ready, because I always have my little pinch. I have my registration, my ID, all that stuff waiting in my fingers with the windows rolled down, waiting for him, hands 10 and 2. Ready, right?
My hands is always crossed over the wheel, yo. Just like
ready to be locked up.
Exactly. But here's the thing. I'm over there and I'm being polite as possible. I'm just like, hey, he's like, oh, you ready? I'm like, yeah, man, I ain't want to give you no reason to shoot me. He's like, yeah, don't give me no reason. I was like, what? He didn't have to rub it in, bro.
He didn't have
you know
to
what I mean?
That.
And so, but the whole thing is that I kept going. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up, but that's kind of funny though. I just kept it positive and easy in the interaction, because look, he has the gun. Anything I do can be considered illegal. So let me just keep it cool while keeping my own self-respect. But I did let him know that I didn't like that word, but I was like, yeah, it's kind of funny, but it's kind of fucked up. Okay, here you go. You know what I mean? I gave him my shit. And I just,
that's my whole point is you're giving us an example of it could have gone one way, but you didn't take it there. And I believe what this pastor is saying is there is a need for some additional mentorship. Because there is a group of people that will respond like you did, and there's a whole nother group of people that don't respond like that, and then there's where the problem happens. So it's like, how do we differentiate? Because it's not just the black community as a whole. I would venture to say it's the Negroids, and they're a different type of breed. And so how do we get that breed to understand that, we're not trying to hurt you, we're trying to help you by saying, because they be like, man, I ain't doing that, man. My cop ain't pull me over, man. I don't care who it is. And so you end up arguing with them over just trying to help them survive an incident.
We need to remind them, first and foremost, that there are no women in the prisons you're getting ready to go to, bro.
Not anymore.
Just in case you didn't know.
Have you ever taken the shit making eye contact with another man?
Oh my God. Yo, I'm not trying to go up the road and I'm not trying to go on the ground, yo. Like, but see, you know what? This is that cultural thing. So if you grow up, let's say you grow up in the wild, right? And I'm saying like one of the worst hoods, you grow up in the wild, everything is a test of your manhood all day long. So when the police pull up and they start talking real greasy, you dealing with people in the hood right now, they got burners on them too. So like, I know a lot of people that when someone pull out a gun, what you gonna do? And so when the police roll up talking real greasy, they feeling like it's the same situation. Like, you ain't just gonna talk to me any old type of way.
And honestly, we looking at the problem on the wrong side. We looking at the problem from the wrong side. Like I was telling Bricks today when he was talking when he was driving home. I was like, we're putting the money in the wrong place. Like, we really should be paying cops high numbers. So it's a competitive job. So Rudy Pook motherfuckers can't get them. Because you know what I mean? So it's competitive to get those jobs. We should pay
you want to behave so you don't lose that salary.
Right. And they'll be scared to lose the salary. And the same thing for fire folks, teachers, paramedics, EMTs, all the people who actually their job is to help society. We should pay them more. There is no reason somebody who kicks a ball around makes 5 times more than a cop.
The only problem that I have with that, honestly, is that normally whenever you put firearms in the hands of men, they normally tend to become a fraternal order. And that's why they have like the CID or the internal affairs, because they start having each other's back, doing dirty stuff. And if you start paying them a lot of money, the fact that, let's say a cop was making $200,000 a year and the chief might be making like 300. Bro, now they not only acting the same way, but now they snobby about it. Like, now they got the money to make shit disappear.
The thing is like, at least if it's that much investment into that community, into the cops and all that, then there would have to be some checks and balances that will be done because we're doing the finances in that way.
I do agree with you.
We don't need to be able to have a cop that got arrested for unnecessarily handling people or touching female suspects in a wrong way, getting booted off the force, and then getting a job in the next county the next week.
Right.
There has to be a database. There has to be a database.
Well, there is a database. They just don't.
I thought they got rid of it.
Yeah,
didn't they get rid of the federal database?
I think. Didn't Trump just make something like that happen?
Yeah, he got rid of that about
recently.
2 or 3
I think
months
so.
ago.
I think I heard something about that.
I heard
that was ridiculous.
This is all I'm saying, man. Like, the people who do things for us, we should pay them right, and then the shit was.
But that doesn't change.
It's not a magic pill.
Negroids. That's what I'm saying. Is like, if we address good officer conduct, that's one piece of it. But we don't even handle conflict with each other correctly, let alone a police officer that now, oh man, he didn't pull me. Now you already upset, and this person looks like every bad news narrative you've ever seen. So
the problem with us is deeper than just saying be respectful. The problem with us is that we don't have the resources. Most people don't have the resources nor the drive to think they can succeed to achieve for better. And so they just have a fatalist attitude in the first fucking place, which is why they ready to die.
But that's what I'm saying. So before we start worrying about, like a person who's a thugged out dude is not going to change up for the police. Like, just because the police there, they don't care. If they pack in, they shooting. That's how they
did, though. Yeah, the police rolled up and they said,
"Hey, officer."
Yes, officer. How may I be upset?
So
I would like to address the headline, because the headline here is "Stop Blaming White Cops for the Killing of Black Kids." And I think it was Kelly earlier that said there's been multiple instances where that has happened. So it's like, how can we stop blaming them? And if you look at the actual context of what he's saying, as far as Black parents should teach their kids how to obey authority, I completely agree with that, because I have ran into many rascals in my life who do not know how to obey authority at all.
You're right.
Especially in this time period.
And
so what happens is, I think that there is a generational anger that has been passed down, and it's like, well, them crooked cops, and they listen, my parents wasn't like that, you know what I'm saying? But some people's parents, I've met them and they're just angry. They've been angry. Slavery wasn't that long ago. Segregation wasn't that long ago. I understand. A lot of us,
it's easier to blame somebody else for your failures, though.
Exactly. So
now we're gonna get in trouble.
White cops, you could say, how about let's obey authority? How about let's, teach our children. Like Kelly said, it shouldn't have been black and white. It goes both ways.
Right.
I've seen the frat boys out here cutting up and doing whatever they got to do.
And that's what I was saying, is the real issue is how we deal with conflict resolution and adversity. If instead of crashing out and lashing out, if we had better responses to things, it wouldn't be as soon as the police walk up to your car or they're being assholes, you're biting right back. Like Bravo said, he could have come back and been like, man, he could have gone that route. Right. But instead, he chose to take the high road, survive the encounter, and move on with life. But how do we teach people to do that?
It's hard, because
you can go home or you can go down.
They don't do it with each other. So how can I teach? Like me and Bricks and Bravo, we've been friends for years. We've had our ups and downs and stuff like that. But we've never come to trying to shoot at each other, nothing like that, because whatever issue just did not require that. So
Right.
we've always been able to mitigate conflict that way. So there's a group of people that don't know how to do that. So that's why they're always fighting. They see the police, they fight the police. They see their family member, they ain't seen it. Hey, they fighting them for something that happened
How
10
you
years
see
ago.
police officers unalive your man, and the next time you get pulled over, you trying to go hard as he went?
Because they don't value their own life.
See, this is because they didn't have
That's
the
the thing I was saying
commercials.
earlier.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah. They don't value
They didn't
their own
have the
life.
commercials that we had. Like, this is your brain on drugs. I saw that shit. I was like, well, I ain't doing that drug.
I'm not arguing
My
with nobody
brain's
that
a
got a gun
breakfast.
and I don't have a gun. That's just crazy.
Yeah, whoever told you
have
to
a gun, I
bring
don't
a
have a gun.
fork to a
I'm not arguing.
gunfight?
It's a good point. It's a good point. Well, I think that this will open up a broader conversation because I see what the guy was trying to say, but he wasn't talking to everybody. There's a certain, like we said, there's different people that respond differently. I'm not saying you got to bow down and start licking boots on the side of the road when you get pulled over, but there is a way to start to like not, or try your best to not escalate these situations. And the escalation ends with the guy with the gun normally killing you. So it's kind of like if you understand that's really what will be the end. If it goes too far, that's what that person's going to do. That's why they got the weapon on them. Is if they feel a certain threat, they are allowed to just take your life. That's the end of that. Threat over. So if we can teach people that
do you think it's unrelated?
It's not.
Do you think it's unrelated that no? Do you think it's unrelated that the way we grew up and the way that the escalation of young Black folks being targeted or whatever, being untowardly interacted with, whether it be death or incarceration or just roughhousing. Do you think that music might have a part of it? Because when we grew up, we still had a 50-50 balance of R&B and hip hop, right?
Yeah,
but now it's just now that hip hop has been corporatized and then it's messaging in those things. Like you're not hearing Black Thought hit the top 10. You're not hearing what was that dude, the freestyle dude, like Keymaster, Locksmith. You're not hearing Locksmith in the top 10. You're not hearing Childish Gambino in the top 10 for anything major. You got him for This Is America.
I will tell you, I do believe there is a correlation, and I'm gonna tell you why I believe there's a correlation.
Okay.
The same people that own those prisons are the same people that own these labels. And it's a reason why certain music, there's a reason why certain music is being pushed, and there's a certain music there's certain reason why other music is not being pushed. Now, am I going to say that we haven't so much more violence because of music? I don't know, but I know there is an agenda of people. There's an agenda that is pushing that's what they want.
Right.
And I think they're successful.
I think they achieved their goal. I think they achieved their goal.
Insurance policies on you now.
They definitely take life insurance policies. Mm-hmm.
What was that, Jen? What was that, Jen?
I said, why do you think all the London rappers are coming over here with all that mess? Because they don't tolerate that over there. Like I literally was in town doing like performances out here singing crash out music. And I told him about himself the other day. I said, why are you singing crash out music? You're literally from Great Britain. Like what's going on? That's how they get
with a shot with a shot.
Like what's going on? Like
it is it is mad crazy. It is mad crazy that that's being allowed to be done over here.
Yo, we fucking do this, fam. We really fucking do this.
And I really think that they had mission accomplished. I really think they have mission accomplished because they're moving on the country now. They got the Blacks where they want them. Now they're gonna move over to poor white folks. Look what's happening. Cowboy Carter is the canary in the coal mine.
Oh yeah.
Shabuzi is the canary in the coal mine. Look what's happening. Post Malone. Canary in the coal mine. Look, they're shifting over to that side. They're going to attack these poor white people now. Watch.
They'll leave us alone.
That would be fun.
That's why they're out there protesting.
I'm trying to move this food, bro.
We in the house. I went to brunch the other day. It was a bunch of caucasity outside. I'm like,
where'd
what
you
are
go to
y'all
brunch,
protesting?
girl?
I went to Olio et Pied, but it was a bunch of caucasity outside.
Did you just switch up accents? Did you switch up accents in
It was supposed to be Italian, but it wasn't at the same time.
But okay. What was it called? Pepe Le Pew? That you ate
that's what I thought.
Olio et Pied.
That sounds like a 48
Only armpit. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to get the Le Ardente. I'm not hip to that slide.
Oh, that lasagna? Yeah, y'all gotta try that 40-layer lasagna at Le Ardente.
40 layers.
40 layers. I'm already 225 pounds.
That sounds like a nap.
Yeah, it sounds like my diabetes is gonna be a problem.
Like, you ever had a McDonald's big breakfast, y'all? You're gonna be asleep for 8 years after one of these joints.
Right.
All right, well, guys, we got our last story to cover, then we got to get out of here.
Why that Joker look like Seal, yo? My bad.
But I got to give quick shouts to everybody in the chat. Thank y'all for stopping in. Special shouts to Draco with the super chat, and really appreciated that. And
like Seal.
And Paul Warner stopping in the chat. We got a few people in here, so the algorithm's been a little mean to us lately, Kelly and Genesis. I know this is you guys' first time on the podcast, but because you guys are here, I guess it's starting to push some people in this direction. They saw a pretty face and they said, "Oh, okay, well, what's this going on over here?" It's pretty privilege. I'm using it, you know, not in a bad way.
Yes,
it's the only reason why I'm on this show, Nick.
Right.
You're the pretty face, Brett.
I'm just saying. You said Jen and Kelly gonna be on the show. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put on pants tonight.
Yeah, I was watching Kelly channel today, yo. I watched the